Hey, what's going on, all my nerds and collectors alike? We are back again, finishing out the No Way Home Tom Holland Spider-Man reviews with the upgraded suit. Getting him in a little bit closer here so you can see that upgrade suit also comes with his own eye lenses, which I know are different from the eye lenses that we've seen on the other two previous figures, so we're not going to bother trying to swap those out. He comes with some assorted webs. I'm pretty sure he's got hands on the left side here, under the nice big mock-up image of his suit that we've got. We do have the Tamashii Nations holographic sticker there, as well as the holographic Disney sticker this time around, so that way you know it's not a knockoff. Bandai Tamashii Nations, Spider-Man No Way Home. Looking at the top of the package here, we've got Spider-Man, upgraded suit, SH Figuarts, and we do have that nice pattern printed on there again of the suit design. On the left side of the package, we have a nice looking pose of the figure. Looks like he's got some web swinging action going on there. On the left side, we have an alternate web swinging pose going on, and that also says Spider-Man upgraded suit, and we do get the nice red and gold spider emblem. On the back of the package here, we have a couple of the images that we've seen before, but bigger, and we have a couple extra pictures here. So we've got down here the eye lenses are changed out. Here we have a swinging pose because he does include a web line. You've got the back of his spider symbol there. Down here you've got your Japanese warning sticker. You've got your unreadables, barcodes, legalese, the fun stuff. Make sure you don't put any parts of this into your mouth. Let's crack open Spider-Man and see what he's about. Alright, so here we have our SH Figuarts No Way Home upgraded suit out of the packaging and in a nice low stance here, just to display a little bit of his crunching capability. Now, with this figure, I will go ahead and right off the bat put out a little bit of a warning. This is on an older body, so there is no bicep cut, and things are a little bit different than we've been seeing on the newer Peter Parker figures. So with that in mind, just make sure that when you're posing them, you pay a little extra care and keep in mind where joints are. That way you don't cause any breakages. But I'm definitely not saying that this figure feels frail or easy to break at all. I'm just saying, keep in mind when you're posing. That way you don't end up twisting the arm and shearing off the arm peg or anything like that. Just be careful with your toys. But straightening Peter Parker out here, we do have him displayed with a few of his extra sets of hands here, as well as displayed with his extra eye lenses. Now these are the fully squinted eye lenses. I'll go ahead and adjust the camera here in one moment. There we go. So now you can see the whole figure standing up. We do have him with his squinted eye lenses here. Let's get him straightened out so that way we can bring him in for some extra detail analysis. Even standing straight up, the figure definitely cuts a very nice silhouette. The proportions on this figure look fantastic, even though he just fell down. The proportions on this figure look fantastic, and he feels really, really nice in the hand. So definitely already right off the bat looking pretty cool. Getting in a closer look here, as I stated, here are his extra lenses. Go ahead and add a little bit of light here for you. There you go. There's his extra lenses, and these are the squinted state. But getting in close, you can see the nice detailed texture along all of the parts of his suit. Now on the red, it is flat, but on the navy sections here, there is texture all over the place, even on his hands. He does, of course, have the butt flaps, and even the butt flaps actually have some detail on there to keep the sculpt going. Now this time around, they did do the color in a navy blue, which actually is a fairly close resemblance to the integrated suit here, which in theory it should be. If the integrated suit has blue on it, then The upgraded suit should have blue on it because it is the same suit with nanotechnology added to it. But I know in Far From Home, at least, that the blue sections here were black. Now, with this, I have no complaints. This still looks really, really nice, but I know that they were meant to be black because it was meant to resemble his first appearance in the comic books, where his suit was red and black instead of red and blue. But hey, a nice navy in between looks really nice. And getting down the line, this does have a fairly close color match to the integrated suit, so we will get to that when we get there. But going over a little bit of his extra detail here, you do have the white spider symbol on the back. Now this cap does break it up just a little bit, but it actually does not seem to break it up as much as the Far From Home version of this figure did, at least in my opinion, so I think they got the paint on that a little bit better. We do have nice, crisp, detailed lines all over the place, even on the inside of his forearm here. We have his web shooters picked out, and then you also get the detail on the inside of his hands. So as I said, very good looking figure. All the way around, something visually to look at. Proportions look fantastic. I like the little bit bulkier Peter Parker that we've got going on here. So, let's get into articulation. Now this time around, taking his head off here, we do have the hinge with the ball joint at the top and then the dumbbell at the bottom. Now this was the older style they're going with, and then they transferred to the Mafex style of head joints where it was double dumbbell joints, but for the time being, this was still a very nice option. You could bring his head back all the way on that hinge, and then you also had these sculpted lines along the hinge to make sure that it didn't break up too far. But with that hinge and the ball, he can look all the way up. And then bringing his head down, he can bury his chin. Of course, you get your swivel. You do get a little less tilt, so that is the biggest thing on these heads that you don't get. You don't get too much tilt, but there still is some at the neck. Now, being as this was the older figure, there was no bicep cut, which means the bicep is exclusively on that hidden bicep joint that they used to run with, so there's no cut here. It's all in the shoulder cap, so bear with me. To articulate his arms outward, what I've been doing is give that ball joint in there a slight tug, get that bent, and then his arms regularly will go out this far. But then, of course, with that ball cap on the inside of his joint there, if you use those as well, you can get his arms slightly past 90. Not bad at all. It just takes a little extra care and finesse to get it going. So as I said, just be aware of where your joints are. Everything will be fine. And since I mentioned the cap in there, we do get some down movement, some up movement, and then this also is your simulated butterfly. So in total, his arms can cross that far across his chest. You do not get almost, well, you get a little bit back. Not bad, not bad. You get a little bit back there, just be careful about it. And then, as I said, it is the ghost bicep swivel joint, so it just turns on that, and as you can see now, there is that silver pin in there, and then if you shift that forward a little bit, and you twist it back, that acts as his bicep. Then there's the pin on the other side. Now, luckily on mine, this is a very smooth function. I don't have any issues with this joint at all. I know some people, their joints are frozen, or it's way too tight, and they've had to hit theirs with heat, or drop some silicone shock oil in there to get that working. Luckily on mine, no problems, works perfectly as intended, good to go. Of course, since that is also on a ball joint, you do get your full rotation. You get double jointed elbows that bend forward this far. And then you have your Figuarts joint at the wrist, So that is the swivel hinge ball. So you can have your horizontal movement, and then you can turn it, swap the hand, and now you've got your vertical movement. So very nice, very handy joint as always. In his upper torso, you will get your rotation. Mine is just a little bit stiff. And then there's also a hinge inside with a ball joint on top of it, which will allow you to crunch forward that far. This will give you your back crunch, so you can crunch back that far. And then, of course, with the forward-facing ball joint in the bottom here, your full crunch is at 90 degrees. Once again, you do have your little cap system in there to try to alleviate some of that gapping. Of course, you do still get a pretty good gap, but camera angles are always handy, so as long as you get in the right angle on your shots, you won't have any problems with that. There's a little tiny bit of tilt off of that bottom ball joint, but I wouldn't try to force it at all. Your legs can kick forward a solid 90, and then you can also take that joint and then rotate it to get up farther. So you can still get around and have Spider-Man get some wide kicks, and then you just bring that down, and you can still get into some stances there. And that does have the nice cap on it, which covers up any gaps in articulation. You do have your thigh rotation. You have a double jointed knee, which once again, the Figuarts knees are so nice, super seamless. They look really, really good. I love the system they use with that. Double jointed knee bends back that far. And if you really want to, you can kind of have him kick back a little bit more. So if you need a little bit extra movement back there, you can have it. But just due to sculpt, you don't get all the way. But you get a nice seamless joint, and it bends enough. Your ankles will bend back that far. Ankles bend forward that far. You do have ankle pivot. There is a rotation where the leg meets the joint, so that way that acts as your boot cut. And we also have a toe joint. So once again, SH Figuarts is packing quite a bit of articulation into a nice compact frame here. This time around we do get some very nice proportions, even though I do still think that the integrated suit and the black and gold suit do look really nice. But let's get into some accessories, shall we? Let's go ahead and start with the two hands that he has on the figure at the moment. So he does come included with a set of fists, as well as a set of wall crawling hands. Of course, what would any Spider-Man be without including a set of whipping hands? And each hand does also include that red diamond at the red triangle at the bottom to continue the suit design. So that looks really nice. You get a set of web swinging hands. And because it's Figuarts, let me see if it'll focus here. Come on, there we go. And because it's Figuarts, the hand is open, so you can take your web line and slip it on through, no problem. On this one, mine actually seems to be stuck with a little bit of paint. Let's try the right side hand, shall we? Because I know that this is not actually sealed on there. Little squeaky. Well, mine does appear to be slightly stuck, so we will worry about that down the line. But he is included with a web line for swinging, and he does have his web swinging hands. And last but certainly not least, we also get a set of relaxed hands. which sometimes you just want your Peter Parker to be able to sit there and take a breather. So relaxed hands are always a very nice addition. Definitely appreciated. As stated before, he does come included with shut eye lenses. Out of the packaging, he also includes fully open eye lenses. And then in this little blister, you also get semi-squinted lenses. And once again, these are fairly simple to interchange. You just pop the head off, take the tool that was included here. On the inside, you can see those two black dots. That is the pegs for the eyes. So you simply add pressure, pop that out. Do keep in mind, the first time you do this, these eye lenses will be fairly snug in there, but after you change it the first time, it gets marginally easier. Not an issue at all. Just, once again, be careful, because these are tiny pieces, and you don't want to lose them. But they slide in there without a problem. We'll go ahead and swap the other one. Just get the tip of the tool on there, give that a nice push. And that should pop it out enough for you to get your nail behind it. Looks like I didn't get mine pushed all the way. We will try one more time. If you can't get your nail behind it, you do have the prying side of this tool. So I will go ahead and try to slip that on in there. There we go. That was the extra shove we needed. My right side seems to still be a little bit tighter than my left. But we will go ahead and put those lenses back in the blister. And then, of course, your blister does come with the nice cap, so that way you don't lose these, which is very, very handy, because you don't want to lose your extra eyepieces. Slide that back on in there. And now you have your Spider-Man head with his original eyes again. And this sculpt, I know it's not actually super accurate. In my opinion, the most accurate Spider-Man sculpt for Tom Holland that we have is the Mafex version of the upgraded suit. To me, that face shield that's covered under the mask there, this looks like the best portrait to me. But, and that is a very big but, I actually really like the way that this head looks. So this may not be a 100% accurate Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man, but to me, this is exactly what Spider-Man should look like. Like, this is my go-to. It actually reminds me a lot of the PS4 Spider-Man, which I love the head design of that, like the head shape and the way his mask sits on there. So to me, this looks fantastic. I love the way that looks. But moving on, we do have the included stand piece. So if you do have a Tomashi Stage 3 stand, you can, of course, pop that cap off the back of his spider emblem here, slap that on there, and then you can use that to peg onto your Tomashi stand. We get 2 of these long earth whipping webs, as well as 2 of our short earth whipping webs. And as always, these are easy enough to swap on there. You just remove the hand, you set that little cup over the ball, and then you just pop the hand back on. Make sure your hand is secure. Add just a little bit of pressure, not too much, because obviously you don't want to break the joint, but add a little bit of pressure on there, and you should be fine. Once again, harkening back to swapping the hands, these are fairly easy. They are a soft enough plastic. Pop on and pop off without an issue. Now, back to what I had said about this being a fairly decent color match to the integrated suit. For any of you who know, the integrated suit that we got was plagued by the inaccuracies of concept art. At least the inaccuracies that we received with that figure are not too hard to remove. So, bringing in integrated suit one more time, just because basically this figure includes extras for the integrated suit. So if you get all three, you get bonuses for each figure. With the integrated suit, we received the web shooter gauntlets. Now personally, I do like how they look, but once again, they are inaccurate. As well as we received tiny hands with inaccurate paint on them, because in the movie, in the trailer, I'm pretty sure we do see the design that we have here with the blue with the red stripe around it, but in the actual movie, it is the upgraded suit hand with the red fingers and the black hand. Now, both of these figures, instead of black, they do have navy blue. So standing the two next to each other real quick, if you can see it in the lights there, integrated suit is a little bit darker, but they are close enough. So what I've done, just because, like I said, I do enjoy the look of these gauntlets, I actually did the same thing that I did in our previous video with the black and gold suit, how I kind of scraped out the inside of the magic gauntlet with the X-Acto knife. I did the same thing on this figure, just so that way I didn't have to keep stressing these pegs when I'm trying to pull them off the wrist. If I want the gauntlet on, I can simply just slide that over, and that sits over and it sits on there. And if I don't want it, I can slide it off. So, and the accurate way is to have these gauntlets off, and the integrated suit wrist pegs fit the upgraded suit hands. So, taking both of these off here just for demonstration. Like I said, just dremeled that out a little bit. Pop that on there. That even covers up some of the gap from losing the gauntlets. And that looks really good. So now you have accurate hands with a very, very close color match. And now your integrated suit is even more accurate than before. So that's a very nice bonus, that you can take these hands, swap them between, and now your integrated suit is even more upgraded from the original release. But getting this guy out of the way real quick, a few more things I wanted to try right before we get into comparisons here. So, like I said, if you've got the black and gold suit, you do get the integrated neck that you can use here, as well as the unmasked Peter Parker head. Now, I have seen some people who were able to get this neck off and slot this in here. I know they said that it wasn't an exact match, but it could be done. I tried removing mine. It wasn't coming off. I didn't want to force anything and risk breaking the figure, so with my upgraded suit here, I cannot use this, but like I said, I have seen people who were successful in removing this neck and swapping it out with the unmasked head. So maybe if you apply a little bit of heat, or yours is on there a little less tight than mine is, you could be successful with that and swap those. But as I said, I don't want to risk breaking my figure, so for now, I'm just going to leave it with the mask look and leave that there. One last thing I wanted to try is if, once again, the Metacom Mafex upgraded hands come into play. Now, Metacom, their upgraded suit was the black and red as it should be. With this, obviously, it is navy, and I don't see why you would, but because the Metacom Mafex figure does come with more hands, if you really wanted to swap those hands, they fit right onto this figure too without a problem. Funnily enough, actually, the SH Figuarts hands this time around are a little bit bigger than the Mafex hands are, which was the reason we were using the Mafex hands on the SH Figuarts black and gold suit, was because the black and gold suit's hands were too small. So, funny how that works out there, but if you wanted to use those options, say you wanted to use the peace sign, or you wanted him to be using a cell phone and take the gripping hands that came with him to use the cell phone, you can do it. Right, getting into a couple of comparisons here. Starting off, we have the Marvel Legends integrated suit, as well as the Marvel Legends Iron Spider. I actually did not get the Marvel Legends version of the upgraded suits, either version, the Walmart exclusive or the original release, just because I didn't really want them. Fun enough, the SH Figuarts Far From Home Spider-Man was the one that I originally wanted, but I missed that order, and so I ended up getting the Mafex version of that figure. But coming back around, they re-released it, and what do you know? Here we are. But getting these two out of the way, here we have the SH Figuarts Upgraded Suit Spider-Man with the Mafex Homecoming Spider-Man and the Mafex Far From Home Upgraded Suit Spider-Man. So they stand just a little bit taller than he does, but honestly I think that the proportions on him look the best. Really liking how that looks. Getting these two out of the way, let's see him next to a couple of comic counterparts. Here we have the Marvel Legends Retro Series Spider-Man Classic and the PS4 Miles Morales. Getting these two out of here. Let's get him next to the No Way Home Doctor Strange and J. Jonah Jameson. Fairly decent height. He actually looks a little bit taller than the other two SH Figuarts do, and he fills out a little bit better. So pretty good in there. Definitely can fudge him into a Marvel Legends display. And last but not least, here we have him next to the SH Figuarts Black and Gold Spider-Man and the SH Figuarts Integrated Suit Spider-Man. So here we have our three No Way Home Tom Holland figures next to each other, and like I said, this is finishing out that small series of reviews. Previously, all three of these figures are fantastic. Do not get me wrong, I would definitely recommend picking up all three, because if you do pick up all three, you get bonuses for each one. So, especially the integrated suit, if you pick him up and then you pick up these two figures, he gets upgraded quite a lot. You get extra webbing between the three of these figures, so that way you've got plenty of webbing to use. You can have multiple web lines and displays. You've got hands, you've got cool effect pieces, the lot, so you get some pretty cool things. And like I said, I know that some people are able to get the unmasked head onto the upgraded suit body, so you even get an unmasked head for your upgraded suit. Worth picking up all three of these, but I will say, my previous favorite Spider-Man was the integrated suit. I love that figure. I think he looks fantastic. But after having all three of these in hand, having a little bit of time to mess with them, my personal favorite is now the SH Figuarts Upgraded Suit. And that is versus the Mafex Homecoming, the Mafex Far From Home, the other two SH Figuarts here, all of the Marvel Legends, even the Retro Comic Series Spider-Man, which is another fantastic figure that was even rivaling the comic book Mafex figure. Even though he's got some limitations, I think that the integrated suit is my new favorite. Definitely worth a pickup. I once again got mine off of eBay, as I missed pre-order window on Ami Ami and Big Bad. And Amazon, I tried pre-ordering the black and gold suit and the upgraded suit together off of Amazon, and Amazon so lovingly sent us the email that they don't even know if any figures will actually come in through those orders. So I canceled my orders, found some reliable sellers on eBay, and went ahead and picked these guys up. So just do your research on eBay. If you find friendly enough seller with a higher rating, you can even message them and request to see the verification stickers on the packages, just to make sure you're not getting shorted, because a lot of people on eBay will try to sell knockoffs for a high price, so just be wary of that. I was lucky enough to find a couple of good sellers that weren't trying to short me. I actually ended up picking all three of these figures up off of eBay, and each time I received the official product with no issues. So you've got your ups and downs on there. Just be careful when you're ordering off of the website. Like I said, people will try to scam you, but if you know what you're looking for, not a big deal. Closing out here, as I said, all three of these figures are definitely worth a pickup. In my opinion, No Way Home was probably the best Spider-Man movie that we received. It was an absolute thrill to see all three Spider-Men on the screen together. We get really cool scenes with each one, each person having their own little arc, having a lot of nice screen time, a lot of nice moments, and it was just a really fun ride. And now we have some really cool figures to commemorate those scenes, relive the memories, relive the movie, have some fun. Stay safe, everybody. Happy collecting. And this channel and all of its content is not for anybody under the age of 13 years old. Keep it real.